Do 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 do. Listen, people. We're gonna get this out of the way today. Yes, we are.
Listen.
As soon as I get rid of my echo, here we go. Here in my car, I feel safest of all. I can lock all my doors. It's the only way to live in cars. Do 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 do. Listen, here in my car, I can only receive. I can listen to you. It keeps me stable for days in cars. Do 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 do. Here in my car, where the image breaks down. Will you visit me, please, if I open my doors in cars? Here in my car, I know I've started to think about leaving tonight, although nothing seems right in cars. Here in my car, I can only receive, I can listen to you. It keeps me stable for days in cars. Do 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 do. Here in my car, where the image breaks down. Will you visit me, please, in cars? Listen, people, I love that song. I love that song, people. Do you love that song? Come on. Who doesn't love that song, people? We love that song. There's your song of the day. I hope that got your little foot to tapping, right? Come on. I took you all the way back to 1979, people, right? 1979-ish. Do 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 in cars. Hello. Pecan Pies. It's a great tune. Oh, electronica. Oh my God. Listen, somebody, that needs to be somebody's name down here. That would be my name. If I had to rename myself, I'd call myself Electronica. Somebody needs to name themselves Electronica, right? Just saying. It's a good name. I need somebody in my community to be named Electronica. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be, people? Who's willing to change the name? Good Lord. Let's see. Let me rewind. We don't have too many people here as of yet. You know, we'll get some drifters. I'm sure. We'll get some Johnny come latelys. Mallory Young. Mallory Young said, listen, she couldn't click on quick enough. I think she said that earlier. I cracked my phone screen. I feel you. Hard to see chat, but I'm still here to see. That's dedication. You know what? She said, I might have a busted up ass phone, but I'm still going to haul my ass up in there at the House of Williams. You know, I don't give a shit. I'm going to be there. That's what I love about Mallory. You know what? I almost called her Mallory Williams. How about that? I said, that's what I love about Mallory Williams. Oh, y'all just listen. If I get Mallory Young confused with Mallory Williams, y'all just understand I'm a big hot mess sometimes, right? And you just say, oh, she got herself confused with Mallory Young again, right? She got herself confused with somebody else. She's an old bitch. She's an old girl. She's old. Oh, there's my psychic goddess, the one and only psychic goddess with this sexy eyes, right? Oh God, and that beautiful skin, that god darn beautiful skin of hers. I saw her only once so far. Only one time I got to see her on camera, people. Listen, God, that's a beautiful girl. Oh, she's so beautiful. Beautiful, I tell you. Hello, German lady. Hello, applesauce. Listen, I don't know if you listen. You got some. I said in your chat yesterday. I don't. You was just so busy. You was so busy gunning bitches down in your chat, right? Like the mafia. She just rolls up and she just starts just starts gunning bitches down, right? She just gets out of her car, stands in a sidewalk, and just starts firing like nobody's business. And I said, listen, you know what? I can go head to head with a lot of bitches. And this mouth, listen, I I'm a verbal assassin. I can take some bitches down and don't even break a sweat, right? Sometimes I can tell a bitch off and they'll sit there and they're smiling. And listen, their friends got to tell them, you know that bitch wasn't paying you a compliment, right? Huh? You know what I mean? They don't even know what hit them half the time, right? That's just the way I deliver. But I'm like, please, Lord, please, Lord, please don't ever make me don't ever make me have to go up against, listen, don't ever make me have to go up against German lady, because you know I won't survive. I won't come out the victor, people. You know when you just know, you know what I mean? You know when you just know that, listen, you know your limitations in life, girl. You just know who to get in it. You know when to get in and out of that ring, like the boxer. You're like, oh shit, girl, I'd like to have that prize money. I'd like to have that prize money, but bitch, girl, I'm gonna have to call in sick that day. I'm just gonna have to call in sick. Who do you want me to go with? German lady? Get the hell out of here. I'm not gonna be feeling well enough that day. I'd love to do it, but I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna be sick that day. My throat's gonna be sore. I'm gonna have bone spurs. Listen, I'm gonna have bone spurs that day. My throat's gonna be sore. I'm gonna have the case of the diarrheas. My ear is gonna be all infected, and goddamn it, I'm gonna have a throbbing toothache. I can't do it. I'm not gonna be able to do it that day. What did you say it was? 3 months from now? Yeah, I'm telling you right now, I'm not gonna be able to do it. Anyway, listen. So there's that. Oh, good Lord. Good Lord, people. A bitch should know better. A bitch should always know your strengths. Good Lord. Thank you, German lady. People have been very nonchalant about signing my guest book lately. I said yesterday I'm on the shit list with the guest book signatures. People just haven't. They've been feeling very listen. They've been feeling some kind of way about. They just haven't been feeling very excited about signing my guest book lately. I don't know what that's about. So I've been, people have to kick them in the ass to sign the guest book lately, and I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and beg them for guest book signatures. You know what I mean? I'm not going to beg. I will, however, beg for household items. So listen, here, I'm going to pick my battles. Listen, if you're not going to sign my guest book, please at least send me some things to my wish list. So there's my wish list link, people. How about that? There's that. Let's talk business, people. Let's talk business. There's my wish list link, right? I'm an entertainer here at the House of Williams, as you know. This is my virtual stripper pole. I'm not a charity case, right? This is a tit for tat. I trade my comedic services, if you will, for cash and prizes. So this is what I do. Listen. So there is anyone who's willing and able, there is my wish list link. If you want to crawl up there and send me something cute and fabulous, there's that. Now's a good time for anyone with access to my PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, right? If you want to periodically drop that in my side chat for people's convenience, right? When I say people's convenience, that means whoever is watching. Please don't ever think I'm just referring to the people taking part in the side chat. I don't want just the people in the side chat to feel that they're being pressured and hounded. Certainly not. Certainly not. I wouldn't put that kind of pressure just on the people in my side chat. Don't ever think that. This is for anybody who's within earshot of my voice. If you're getting a piece of the show, this is for you, honey. All of it is directed at you. Listen, that's just how it is here at the House of Williams, including the replay gang, right? Listen, the replay gang is pretty good. Listen, I get the replay gang. That's why I have those links. You'll find those links in underneath every one of my chats in the comment sections. Believe it or not, the replay gang is pretty good about coming through. I'll just be sitting here doing something, and all of a sudden I'll get a bloop, bloop, and I'll look, and somebody from the replay crew sent me a little something in my Cash App or my Venmo or my PayPal. I'm like, see, that's how you do it. You know, that's how you do it. They've appreciated my virtual stripper pole action, and they tipped me a little something for it, right? I'm not a charity case, people. I am not a charity case here at the House of Williams. I'm a professional. I am a professional entertainer, right? This is what I do. I'm a storyteller, right? I'm a storyteller. I take you away from your personal environment for all of an hour, right? And I take you for a little ride here at the House of Williams. And I do so in a way where you don't have to take a stench shower after the fact, right? Very palatable, very palatable. So, all right, listen, the title says Hitman BENNYKEYZ versus Dolly Vision, listen, and company, right? Bodily harm, people, bodily harm. That's the tag word, right? Keyword being bodily harm. Can you imagine? Jesus to goodness, bodily harm. That's what it's come down to, right? Oh, I made my rounds last night. That's why I'm doing this stream today, right? You didn't get a morning roar this morning, so you're getting an afternoon stream, all right? It's got to be done. Has to be done. Is Sweet Pea in the house? Logan, hello, Logan. I love Christina. I love if I can call you Logan. I love that name. Not that I don't. Listen, Christina's a fine name too, but there's just something about Logan. Just so sassy. Logan. There's my Logan. Listen, Sweet Pea. Hello, hello, hello. I'm fixing to lay it down here, Sweet Pea. Fixing to get sassy with a couple bitches. I am. Listen. Here's the thing. First of all, this is just a little side note. I was bored as shit when Dolly Vision did his little 9:30 show. I don't know how many of y'all caught it. I was bored as shit. Dolly Vision, that's not your gig. I know you want to try to make that your gig, right? I don't know, like the child hunter, the child predator hunter guy, the crocodile hunter. That's not your gig, honey. It's not your gig. That's just not your bread and butter. You can't have it all, right? I'm gonna be honest with you, Dolly Vision. Just like you said the other night, somebody's gotta be honest with Savage. That's what you said to Savage. Somebody's got to be honest with you, Savage. Well, somebody's got to be honest with you, Dolly Vision. Hunting, and feigning concern for missing children is not your gig. It's just not. That's not. People aren't going to tune in. That's just not your gig, right? People want to see you go sideways and crazy and upside down. That's your gig. That's your sweet spot. Truthfully, you're the court gesture, to put it, to put it in simple terms. You're the court gesture. That's what people expect from you, right? This other bullshit, come on, no. You know what? You're the bobblehead on the dashboard, right? That's what people want to see, your head bobble, right? We want to see your head bobble around in the dashboard. The more bobbling you can do, the more entertaining it is for the kids in the car. Look at that head bobble, Daddy. Daddy, make the head bobble. Okay, make the head bobble, Dad. You know what I'm saying? That's what we want from. That's what we want from you. So it's for the kids. It's for the kids. Let's find the missing kids. Let's have the crying mother. Let's have the crying mother on the pan. Get the hell out. No. There's other channels for that. There's other channels for that. It's not your channel, Dolly Vision. I'm sorry to be the one to break it to you, but no, right? Then you came back with your 1 o'clock in the morning show and got your shit back on the rails, right? That's your gig. That's your show, Dolly Vision. That's your show. Crazy Town. Crazy Town is your show. All right? Stay focused. Know your strength, Dolly Vision. Right? Now, having said that, I just had to put that out there, people. Had to put it out there. You can't be telling Savage all the truth and telling her what you think she should and should not do in her marriage, right? And then go around and try to do some weird shit yourself and not expect somebody to tell you the truth. Listen, I'm just going to put my own little 2 cents in right from the get-go in case I forget. Listen, I'm not, it might come up again. I don't know, but no, I'll wait because it's probably going to come up. I'll wait on that. Listen, here's the thing, people. Let's start with BENNYKEYZ, right? Is that what he's calling himself these days, right? Since his live was going first, right? Technically, because he ended his stream shockingly, he ended his stream literally at 1 o'clock in the morning, right? 1 o'clock in the morning, he ended his stream just as Dolly Vision was starting his intro, okay? I say, what was that about? And he ended it really quickly. Like it was like, okay, let's wrap her up. Let's wrap her up. Thank you. Right? And listen, he still had plenty of people in his chat, all that good stuff. It was like, what do you got up your sleeve? What do you plan on? What do you plan on doing? You got to free yourself up so you can somehow become part of the Dolly show. I don't know. What are you going to be doing? Prank calling? I don't know. What are you going to be doing? Trolling? I mean, what are you going to be doing over there? Afraid that you're going to get, outnumbered. You know, a lot of these people will close down their show, right? Because their numbers will start dropping. That's what I suspect it was. Because when he was live, he had about 800 views. Well, there was nobody else on to watch, people. There was nobody else on to watch. And if you want to know the truth, those numbers were a little high for Benny, considering what he's been getting lately. Right? What he's been getting lately ranges between 2, right? 350, 4 has been his peak, right? I was a little surprised to see 700-800 people in there last night. I was like, well, he must be in sky heaven to see these kind of numbers again, right? Listen, there was nobody else on the tube, right? No wonder. So soon as Dolly went live, I mean, he pulled his shit down quick. He pulled that shit to an ending, a happy, quick ending, right? Listen, I think he wanted to spare himself the humiliation because I think he knew full well that his numbers were going to drop quickly because everybody was going to be running over to Dolly Vision, right? He didn't want to suffer that public humiliation. He knew half the chat was about to go to Dolly Vision. Mallory Young, are we on the same page, Mallory? Does anybody else think that too? That I've been here a long time, people, as you know, and people's pride. Hey, Becky, people's pride, honey. Woo! Listen, boy, he closed that shit quick at 1:00. Glare wasn't even expecting it. Glare was like, what okay. Oh, I guess we're done. You're done, bitch. It's 1:00. Dolly Vision's on. I got to go. I got to close this shit up. Right? Anyway. So there's that. So listen, I want to talk about, there's a particular segment that I'm really going to hone in on here. I'm going to have Mallory Young help me out. Mallory Young, I'm old, so I'm going to have you help me out with the name. Give me the name of the young man that came on, the very young, intelligent man that came on, because it was an open panel. I don't need, just give me a screen name, if you will, so I can give him the respect, because I'm trying to say iconic. And I know his name isn't iconic. What was his name? And I know he floats to panel to promote his channel. He's one of those guys. Anywhere he can get a link to somebody else's panel that's got a few people watching, he likes to go. He's like that. Wherever he can go to a sizable panel with people watching, he just jumps on, regardless of what they're talking about. He has nothing to add to the conversation. He's like a spoke in the wheel, right? And he just bombards their chat. And listen, you know what I'm saying? Mallory, do you know who it is? Were you there? Sorry, oh, okay. It was BENNYKEYZ. Well, chaotic. We'll just go with chaotic. That's all I need to know, Anna. That's fine. I don't really need to promote his channel because I don't agree with, personally, I don't agree with what he's promoting, and I don't agree with his political mindset. I don't agree with, it's not just his political mindset. I can have a difference of opinion on someone's political mindset. But he seems like a reverse bigot to me, right? Listen, I'm not into that. I'm not into bigotry in general. And he just seems like a reverse bigot, as we would know bigotry to be, right? And he seems like what do I mean by that? He seems like a bigot of his own race, right? Listen, he's a bigot. He's a bigot. I'm not into bigotry. He's also a classist, right? He came across, I read him to be a classist. I'm not into that whatsoever. That's what I gleaned from him, right? In the short time that he was up there. Like, dude, I'm not into that. Hold on. Did you just say, or, oh, white boy lockdown in radio? Are you talking about Radio, the movie? Are you talking about Radio? Mallory Young, wait. Are you talking about Radio? Are you talking about Radio, the football? The guy was on the football. Listen, the football movie where he was. Listen, oh God, tell me you're not. Tell me, because that shit's funny. If I'm reading that correctly. Oh my God. Oh no, there's a creator named that who goes on those panels. Okay, Mallory Young, listen. There's a movie with Cuba Gooding Jr. called Radio, and I thought because they look very similar. Anyway, I gotta get to the point of the story. Putting aside what I may think of the guy personally, right? Listen, he got up on panel. It took less than 15 seconds to realize that this guy was whip smart, legitimately intelligent, educated, right? Educated being, listen, he clearly has a higher education, people, right? Now, I want you to imagine, if you weren't there, someone highly educated sitting down with someone like BENNYKEYZ from Gang Gang Ministries. All right, we have someone who is truly educated with someone who pretends that he's educated to a bunch of who he perceives to be morons, right? To someone who intentionally surrounds himself with a bunch of who he perceives to be yahoos, whoever he can get, right? What other dummies he can get to surround himself with that will hang on to every word that he's Googled, right? Meaning people who are not as bright as him, right? I'm the smart one in the room. You guys are less smart, right? Therefore, I'm educated. You all look to me for the big words, right? I'm the smart one. I'm the smart one in here. I'm Gang Gang Ministries, brother Gang Gang of Gang Gang Ministries. I will go unchallenged in everything I say. I'm the smart one around here. Everybody knows how smart I am. I'm Hitman BENNYKEYZ. Right? I know everything about everything. You will not challenge me because I've made sure that all of you are dumb enough not to question me. Right? I don't hang around smart people. Right? I don't seek out smart people. No, Glarer. Sorry. BENNYKEYZ don't see you as a smart person. Sorry to bother your Apple card over there. Sorry about that one, Glarer. Isn't that a kick in the ass, Glarer? God damn. Bet you didn't realize that, did you, Glarer? Of course you didn't. Because you're not that smart. If you were that smart, you wouldn't be over there sitting around, hanging around him. Newsflash, smart people don't hang around BENNYKEYZ. They just don't, Glairer. They don't. Intelligent people don't gravitate to that clown, that circus clown. They don't, Glairer. They just do not. By the way, full disclosure, I'm going to tell you right now. I recently saw Glairer without that goddamn beanie hat for the first time. For the goddamn first time, I saw him without a goddamn knit cap or a paper sack or some bullshit over his head, right? Hiding his head. I didn't recognize him. I just kept staring and staring at the camera and staring. Like, I recognized the voice and I was dumbfounded. I'm like, I was, huh? It's like, what the fuck? And it took me a hot goddamn minute. What? Lady V, wait a minute, no. He was handsome. I'm like, I was looking at this handsome man. He was handsome. I mean, I can't say shit. I mean, why that man continues to wear these goofy ass hats and hide his handsomeness. So all you see is this goddamn, those beanies do shit for him, right? Whoever told him that these beanies do something fashionable for him, make him look some kind of attractiveness, do something for his head, his face, they don't do shit for his face. I'm telling you right now. His nose isn't that attractive on its own, right? And that's basically what you see is a goddamn beak, right? Yeah, a beak. And because the hat, he likes to wear them over his brows for God. I mean, it's just, I never saw the Glairer look any kind of way I never got I just never understood. Whatever. Never doesn't rock my boat in any kind of way. I don't see any fixation that anybody would have over this character, right? A middle-aged man wearing a goddamn beanie, it doesn't do it for me, right? Doesn't do it for me. Leave that shit to the 20-year-old street boys, all right? Leave it to the skater boys. Just like the computer gaming chairs, girl. Leave it to the kids. Leave it to the kids, right? But everybody's trying to jump. Listen, middle-aged man, just saying. But the other day, there was this handsome, very handsome man sitting there with the Glairer's voice. Pretty hair, pretty silver gray hair. And I'm just looking, and I'm like, holy shit. Like, I'm picturing him in a suit. I'm like, wow, this is somebody that I could walk into a gala. Like, if there was an event, like, I would have him escort me in somewhere. Listen, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to let him drone on and on and on about BENNYKEYZ and bullshit. We're going to have a nice talk in the car. We're going to have a good talk in the car. I'm like, don't you start talking about that BENNYKEYZ character, right? I don't want to hear about Bullhorn Betty in there. I don't want to hear about all this other bullshit. I just want you really just pipe it down a little bit. You can talk about me all you want, right? Talk about me all you want. Let's just pipe it down on the bullshit. I want you to stand there and I want you to look you just look like candy. You look like candy in that suit, right? I just bought you a new tie, mister. I just bought you a new tie for the occasion. And God damn it, I want you to sport that tie, and I want you to peacock around the room with me and just do your thing, Glarer. I don't know. I'm just throwing that in there. Throwing that in there, people. Fair is fair, right? I saw him without a beanie. Saw him without a beanie. So there you have it. Keep in mind, he'd probably tell some wicked trans joke, right? Some insecure trans joke in response to my compliment, right? But listen, that would be the difference, right? That's the difference between immature men, right? And confident trans women, right? Okay. Back to Hitman BENNYKEYZ, people. Listen, what do you think happened? What do you think happened when this very intelligent young man with a master's degree, right? With a master's degree, started talking to the likes of Hitman BENNYKEYZ? Oh my God, people. BENNYKEYZ suddenly felt, I'm going to tell you how he felt. Extremely talked down to, extremely small, right? He felt shrunk down. He knew, right? He knew instantly that, wait a minute, this is not my game. This guy is not part of my game. I hate that this guy just came on my panel. I don't know where this guy came from. I hate that he's here. I am incredibly uncomfortable right now. I'm uncomfortable because this guy has just pierced the umbrella of my charade, right? And everybody here sees, everybody out there clearly sees that I am no longer the smartest guy in the room. Right? That's the truth. Everyone could now plainly see that instead of being the smartest guy on the panel, BENNYKEYZ was now the dumbest guy on the panel. Clearly, people could actually see just how dumb, obscenely dumb and simple BENNYKEYZ really is when sitting next to somebody who's actually intelligent, right? You're embarrassed for him. You just see how absolutely jailhouse, simple, and basic and unimpressive he really is. He says, and he starts asking random questions. Random out of nowhere. Has nothing to do with any conversation, right? One of these random questions, trying to showcase his intelligence, trying to prove to the people that he still has some intelligence too. Here you go, people. Random, completely random. He asked the person holding the master's degree, let me ask you a question. And the gentleman says, sure, go ahead. BENNYKEYZ says, did you know that in the military, a third of the female, how do you say, a third of the female enlisted, what do you call it, soldiers, enlisted soldiers, whatever it is, have been sexually assaulted, right? And then a third of them have also been, I don't know, raped or some shit or whatever. It was coming from Benny, people, right? Listen, a third, and then a third of a third. And listen, and the guy just sat there so calm, so just like silk. He said, well, so if you're telling me that 33%, so he did the math like that. So is what you're telling me 33% of the females in the military have been sexually assaulted? No, I didn't know that. However, something should be done about that. Absolutely. If what you're saying is true. Now keep in mind, I don't know anything about that. First time I'm hearing it, and I'm taking you at your word that it's true. Only hearing it from you. But if that is true, something obviously has to be done about that. That has to be looked into and has to be done about that. But it was that kind of question, right? Listen, a stupid ass question that had absolutely nothing to do with nothing. Here's the thing. He tried to ask what he perceived an intelligent question in an intelligent way. See, a third of a third, which wound up being 33%. So he couldn't even ask the question in an intelligent as the response was, right? So the guy even had to school him on the percentage that he tried to open the question with. It was just so tragic, right? But the question was for naught, because the question was just so, it was just set up in a way that, listen, I know something about something. Oh my God. Oh God, people. It was tragic. Anyway, listen, you know what he wound up doing? Booting him from his chat. Just without warning. Without warning. Boom. Booted him and said, that guy's got to go. That guy's got to go. Whatever he was about, listen, and blamed it on his side chat. Blamed it on his side chat. They don't like him. They don't like him. He had to go. Chaotic Live TV. Thank you, Mallory Young. Listen, he had to go. He had to go. Right? Boom. Boom. Right? Just so rude. Benny couldn't get rid of him fast enough. You're exactly right. Because he's a simpleton. Right? He's a charlatan. It's just the truth. It's disgusting. Right? That guy didn't deserve to be treated like that. Not one bit. He didn't. That guy he did not deserve to be treated like that. You know, I don't know what you're doing, dude, but you're not a good person. You're not a good person. Whatever you were up to up here, blah, 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 blah. 33% of all the U.S. military would be like 66,000 women, and maybe he is correct, but that seems like an awful big number. Smoky Blue Days, he's not correct. Let's be real. BENNYKEYZ, would anybody with intelligence take news from BENNYKEYZ? Who would do that? We don't take BENNYKEYZ as a source. And I assure you, that man last night was only being a gentleman on someone else's panel by even entertaining the number, right? That's why he was very clear to say, I don't know anything about this. I'm only taking this as what you say, right? Only taking this, but if that's true, it has to be looked into. You know, he didn't want to go on somebody's panel and say, listen, dude, you're misinformed. You're a liar. You're smoking the wacky dacky. I've not heard anything about that. That can't possibly be true. Or I would have heard something about that. That would be all over the guy. You know, that would be the biggest investigation. That would have been blown out of the water by now. In 2022, with the Me Too movement, for God's sake, with the Me Too movement, you don't think that would have been blown all over the goddamn airways? And get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. Come on, people. Like I said, that was just him trying to show that guy and his people, mainly his people, that he knew stuff too. Listen, that guy had a master's degree. He was the only one on panel that had a master's degree. And I don't care if that master's degree was in Crayola crayons. Point being, he was the only one with a master's degree. Not one goddamn person, including the lady that came up on panel, that attempted to challenge him, but sounded more like a whining biatch, to be honest, because she didn't like the way his mind thought about women. Listen, she too did not have a master's degree. All she could say is, listen, I'm educated. Really? But you don't have a master's degree, right? He had a master's degree. It takes work to get a master's degree, right? And he said where and how and what his master's degree was all about. Listen, I don't recall. I didn't care enough. I didn't care enough. But the bottom line is, he had a master's degree. He could have had a master's degree in dance for all I care. He's got a master's degree. Oh, good Lord, people. All right. Let's talk about Dolly Vision, right? Dolly Vision now with Hitman BENNYKEYZ. Let's talk about this whole bodily harm shit, because this was pretty much the first half hour, 45 minutes of the Dolly Vision show, the program. By the way, I don't know if anybody realizes it. I'm just putting it out there. My super chats work today, as do as everything else. Just putting it out there, people. I know everybody just paid their rent. I get it. There's that. I listen. I understand that too. Listen. Sometimes people just forget, because what happens is people just so enamored with what I'm saying. This is also, both can be true. Both can be true, people. People just pay their rent, as well as people get enamored with the things that I say and the stories that I take them down, that people truly forget about everything else, because I'm that good of a storyteller. So both can be true. Oh shit, I forgot all about a tip link or the wish list or the super chats, but all can be true. So there's that. Thank you, Mallory Young, for putting my wish list out there. And please remember to put out my Cash App and all the other tip links throughout the chat. Thank you. Okay, let's talk about Dolly Vision. Dolly Vision put his, listen, he put his coffee table size leg down last night, right? He had to climb down off that goddamn chair to put his foot firmly on the floor, right? Put his foot down last night. Was not having it. He is sick and tired and through dealing with people threatening bodily harm to him. He says he lives in Virginia, the Commonwealth, and all these other people. Listen, thank you, Lisa V. And listen, he lives in the Commonwealth of Virginia and all these other yahoos. He says, listen, whether you live in Texas, the Carolinas, the Kentuckys, the Floridas, listen, wherever the hell you hailing from, right? Listen, I say the Floridas because I believe the Floridas should be divided up into two states. I'm one of those people. possibly 3, but definitely 2. I think the lower half of Florida should be its own state. That's what I think. I think the state is big enough to accommodate. I think it should. I think it should be North and South Florida, just like the Carolinas. That's a whole nother state. That's a whole nother topic. But I do think it should be North Florida and South Florida. Because if you live in Florida and travel to Florida, they're completely different. You would think you're in a different state, different cultures, different ways of trust me, I've lived both. Anyway, that's all I can say right now, or I'll get sidetracked. Anyway, listen, people. He has been taking screenshots of these threats, right? He's got threats coming from, apparently, BENNYKEYZ wants to take him out into the woods and spread his ass cheeks or something. Listen, something to that effect. Take him out and have his way with his little dolly cheeks, right, in the woods. Listen, wants to take him out fishing, right? Wants to take him out fishing, people, with the little air quotes. All right? That means he wants to use he wants to use little Dolly as fishing bait. He wants to put little Dolly, right? He wants to use him as little wiggly jiggly fishing bait on the hook. Put little Dolly on a hook, right? They're sending around pictures of little Dolly's worm, right? Apparently that's a thing. So they're probably wanting to put his little worm on a hook, right? Hook him by the worm, and then toss him out into the water and reel him in, right? See if they can get any bites on poor little Dolly, right? Throw him back out a couple times. Eventually he'll get a bite. Listen, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. They're out to get him. Then apparently they've got screenshots. I guess him and Savage Live are going at it, right? Him and Savage Live are going back and forth. Got some screenshots there. I mean, Savage and her husband are gonna get on I-95 and come visit him. Listen. All right, here's what I'm gonna say. Remember when I was saying earlier, listen, people, this is what I want to say about Savage Live. Listen, Savage Live is a grown-ass female, right? Grown-ass female with kids and grandkids and a husband and a life. With a driver's license and a car, right? And a house, right? Probably even got a pet or two, right? Her husband got his own things going on, assuming, right? Listen. Those two set the parameters of their marriage. So if Savage hops on a plane to fly to Texas, right? Which I believe she says she went out there to help a friend of hers in a situation. And apparently while she was there, she decided to go out one evening and have some fun. Who cares, right? I don't know if she met up with BENNYKEYZ or not. I don't know. But let's just say she did. Let's just say that was her choice, and she did. Her and her husband set the parameters of their marriage, right? If that's okay with her and her husband, then that's okay with her and her husband. It's that simple. It's that simple. It is what it is. It may not be okay with a lot of other people's marriage arrangements. They're like, well, I would not put my, listen, some marriages, there are some couples that never separate ever. They're literally like ball and chains to one another. I never go anywhere without my spouse. Well, then there are some couples that said, bitch, you mean you will never, you don't ever get away with from your old man ever? That's just bizarre to me. You got to get some space to yourself sometimes, right? There are some couples that will take separate vacations just to rejuvenate themselves and do what they want to do. So it's all about the parameters a couple will set for themselves. All right? Now, obviously, Dolly was being Dolly. Dolly was having a little fun with that whole situation. Dolly was being Dolly, right? Dolly's a shit talker. That's what Dolly serves up every night from 1 o'clock to 6 o'clock on average, right? Just talks shit, right? Serves it up left and right, left and right, left and right. Now, here's where I will agree, right? I will agree that at the end, I'm a shit talker, right? Now, I do try to limit my shit talk where I'm not causing people to lose sleep at night. I do try to limit I try to have some awareness about myself and what's coming out. Listen, I try to keep it palatable, people. I'm not here to hurt people. I'm not here to truly hurt people. I have my ways to deliver, right? But at the end of the day, I don't threaten people, right? I'm not in, that's just not who I am, right? So we shouldn't threaten one another, right? We shouldn't get to the point because somebody is shit talking. It's not a good idea to threaten people. Definitely, especially in text, where it can be seen, for God's sake. Or hell, even verbal, because it's going to be recorded. What it's going to do, it's mainly, first and foremost, it could cause people to lose sleep at night, right? It's crossing a line where it's going to cause people to lose sleep at night. You don't really want people to lose sleep at night, right? Secondly, and more importantly to the person pushing the threats and delivering the threats, Dolly was right in the fact that it's illegal. And you don't want to do illegal things. You don't want, if YouTube is getting you to the point ever where you're crossing the line into breaking the law, that's a problem. And that's probably when you need to step back, take a few breaths, take a break, talk to some friends, that not just any friends. You need to talk to some friends with reasonable minds. You can't talk to friends that are just as hot-headed, right? You can't talk to friends that are just as hot-headed as you are. You got to talk to some friends with reasonable minds that are, going to say, listen, let's go shopping. Let's go have lunch. Let's have an overnight. Why don't you come spend a couple nights with me? We'll have a couple girls' days. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But we don't want to threaten people. That's not the way to go. And we definitely don't want to get our husbands, our spouses involved. We can handle this. We're grown folks. We don't need to get our spouses involved. That's my advice. But anyway, listen, he was done. I mean, that's probably the most serious I've seen him last night. He was pretty serious. He was delivering the message last night that he's done with the threats. He said, basically, all bullshit aside, people, no one's going to put their hands on me. No one's going to come to my house. No one's going to come where I'm at, because people are, BENNYKEYZ, of course, is, trying to fearmonger him out of going to Tennessee, getting to second guess his trip to Tennessee and such. Listen, BENNYKEYZ doesn't own Ben Hill Road, right? In fact, BENNYKEYZ doesn't own a goddamn thing. I don't even think BENNYKEYZ owns his vehicle, for Christ's sake. I'm beginning to think that. Not for nothing. I'd be surprised if BENNYKEYZ even has a valid driver's license these days. Truthfully, I wouldn't be surprised if when he's driving a vehicle, it's his mother's, and he's driving it hot because he probably can't even get a driver's license. Probably some DUI bullshit. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised, right? If he's uninsurable, right? Probably can't even get a decent insurance rate. What do they used to call that shit? An SR22 or some bullshit? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows, people? He doesn't have shit in life. We know that. Which the glare, I'm going to talk about the glare one more time, who had the nerve to utter these words last night while on Benny's chat. Aimed at Dolly Vision while trying to call him a beta, right? Even less than a beta at some point. Basically taking Dolly Vision's words toward Benny and trying to throw them back at him. Listen, Dolly Vision actually had it right when he said it at Benny. It's powerless when you try to use those words against Dolly Vision. From a spectator's point of view, it's powerless because it's clear bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Because BENNYKEYZ is a beta, less than a beta. Listen, that was absolutely made crystal clear the minute that intelligent person showed up last night. That's all it took. Somebody with a couple brain cells in their head to show up and just sit next to the guy, right? Jesus Christ, how more evident could it be? That's all it takes. And that's what I've said the whole time. I can't count the times I've said that in the past, right? I've said, BENNYKEYZ, we'll see. Listen, BENNYKEYZ, we'll see how smart he is until somebody who shows up that's actually educated, right? Then you'll see how smart he is. Lo and behold, somebody with an education actually shows up and sits next to him, and it plays out. There it is. I've not been wrong since 1987, people. There it was. Boom. Played right out. But listen, the glare said to Dolly Vision, in reference to Dolly Vision. Let me try to get these words out. I'm old. Sometimes the brain goes a little fuzzy. Did I lose it? I might have lost it. I'm old. It'll come to me. Is the psychic goddess still here? Maybe she can help put it back in my head. Oh, here it is. The glare said, get your shit together, dude. You got to get your shit together, dude. Right? While sitting, basically, for all intents and purposes, while sitting with BENNYKEYZ in his garage, in his mother's uncle's garage, because I guess I learned that last night, that the mother, apparently, according to Dolly Vision, who I would take the word more than BENNYKEYZ, right? Apparently, that house is owned by the mother's brother, assuming, or the uncle of the mother, or the uncle of BENNYKEYZ, one of the two. Listen, it's not even the mother's house, right? Not even the mother's house. So, whatever, there's that. Listen, so living in the garage, people are saying, listen, Mallory, that's not even your house either. Listen, the point is, I've been quite upfront and honest as to my situation where I live. I've given full credit to my sister. See, there's a difference. I've given full credit to my sister, first and foremost, right? Secondly, she didn't put me up in a goddamn garage. I don't live in a goddamn single car garage spitting loogies all over it. And let me tell you, if she did put me up in a garage, I would treat it well. I wouldn't disrespect it. I would honor the garage and I would fix it up to the best of my ability. That's the difference, people. I would leave that garage in a much better condition than I found that garage. She wouldn't have to come in and clean up all the dry, crusty loogies all over. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference, people. But you can't tell someone like Dolly Vision to get his shit together when you're sitting there, Glarer, with someone like BENNYKEYZ, a complete loser at life, completely, who never had it up, right? Who never in his life had it up. Well, he might have had it up. He might have had it up more than he should have had it up in places it never should have gone up, right? It's part of his problem in life. Listen, but he never had a successful times in his life. You know, other people, like myself, I've had plenty of successful times in my life. I lived life. I've lived a long life. I had some good life, right? And even now, right? Compared to the likes of Mr. Keys, oh, honey, I'm living the good life. I'm living a mighty fine life, right? Mighty fine life. Listen, but Dolly Vision, that man has, he is running his little YouTube hobby show, right? Enjoying himself every night almost. People adore him and what he's offering, and he's an entertainer. An entertainer. BENNYKEYZ is not an entertainer, right? BENNYKEYZ is a goddamn civilian. I call them civilians. Wannabes. They're just people who just hop on the internet and push go live. They don't know shit about entertaining people. They're just civilians that go on and start running the trap and causing trouble. Right? That's what they do. They're not storytellers. They're not comedians. They're not singers. They're not podcasters. They're just civilians that wind up causing chaos and trouble because that's what civilians do. They don't know what else to do. They have no other gigs. So they start picking at people's scabs, right? This will give me some attention. I'll get some attention here, right? That's what they do. I used to be in jail. I'll just employ some of my jailhouse tricks, right? Dolly Vision's an entertainer at heart. You can tell, right? Dolly Vision's used to being on stage. He's a musician at heart, right? So that's a camaraderie that I share with Dolly Vision. Performing in front of live audiences. Not only that, he goes to work. He still maintains employment in the civilian world. And then he entertains at night. He has a house that is not his mother's. He maintains his own cable bill that he says runs him over $150 a month just for his internet, excuse me, right? You know what I'm positive of? Gang Gang Ministries is not paying $150 for his internet, right? I assure you that. You know what he's doing? He's most likely using his telephone as his internet service. He's probably using his telephone as a hotspot, right? To run a Walmart, a $300 Walmart laptop when he uses his laptop, right? That's probably what somebody in the realm of Gang Gang Ministries would get his internet, right? Most likely. His month-to-month prepay internet. So I found it beyond comical that you would, while you're sitting there in that garage with that stanky bitch, right? Because that's the company you choose to keep. And that's the person you're contemplating going into weekly business with, right? Really? Jesus to goodness. You know, when you get to a fork in the road, right? In my mind, if you get to a fork in the road where it says Gang Gang Ministries or Dolly Vision, the glare, I'm just saying, it's only two directions to go. Nowhere else. Gang Gang Ministries or Dolly Vision. The choice is yours. Listen, I don't think it requires too much head scratching of which way to go. You got somebody that works, doesn't hurt people, doesn't go around hurting people, doesn't go around maliciously recording people's phone calls, right? By the way, how about this? I want to talk about this real quick too, recording phone calls. This lady was on yesterday who talks to Candace Wells daily for 10 months, whether it be FaceTime on the computer or actually phone calls. Gang Gang was trying to set her up and ask her questions. His questions was, be honest with me. How long and what exactly did Candace tell you in regards to how she felt about me? Right? Trying to pump her for information to share with the audience, right? To feed his ego about how Candace felt about brother Gang Gang. Oh, Benny, she wanted you so bad for so long. She told me that she was in love with you. Blah, 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 right? That's what he was hoping for from this girl. And I was about to want to reach in and pull her hair, of course. And she said, here's what she said. She said, listen. She said, I'm going to be honest with you. She said, I'm going to be honest with you. She shared a lot with me, Benny. And I'm going to keep that private. I'm going to keep that between her and I. Because I don't roll like that. And I was like, good girl. Good girl. You're not going to throw Candace under the bus like that in front of 800 people. And he got rejected, right? And he's like, okay, all right. I get it. I can respect that. I can respect that. Liar, you can't respect that. Well, what do you think the next words out of his mouth was? Any guesses? Any guesses, people? He says, well, if you want, we can talk about it in private. We can talk in private. Right? We can talk in private. Now, what I wanted from that woman at that point, I would have lived for it, but instead she fell for it. Sadly, she fell for it, right? But what I wanted to hear that woman say was, Benny, in all fairness, please don't take this in any, yeah. But in all fairness, based on what I know of you, there is no such thing as private when it comes to you, because you're known to record all of your phone calls. So I'm gonna politely pass on that as well. You know what I mean? There's no such thing as private with you, buddy. So no, we won't be sharing a phone call. That's it. That's it. Instead, she says, yeah, we can do that. You know, I'll talk to you in private. We can have a private talk. I'm like, shit, lady. You know, because he's gonna pump you for information. He's gonna, God forbid, whatever you say to him, he's gonna record it, and then he's gonna share it, right? Because he's a scumbag. You hear that, Glairer? Because he's a scumbag. He's the bottom of a barrel, absolute filthy scumbag. Scumbag. In its most basic form. They don't come any more scummier. Jesus Christ, people. Good Lord. How are we doing on thumbs up? Listen, we're not doing too bad on thumbs up. Is there anyone in here that has not signed the guest book? I would like to get some more signatures on our guest book. I would like to get a couple more visits to my wish list, right? Please and thank you. Please and thank you. I've seen that, listen, there are some things missing from my wish list. I visited it before going live today. There are some things missing from my wish list, so we know what that means. We know what that means, people. I'm excited. I am pleased. I am pleased. I've got some things on the way. I've got some things. Also, listen, I have sent something out. I'm in the process of sending another thing out. Listen, when I send other channels a wish list gift of their own, I do so not necessarily from me. I do so from the House of Williams and my supporters. I do so in all of our names, so that they understand that you all have a great deal, a great big hand in sending them a gift from their wish list. So there's that. Just a small way that the House of Williams can pass on a little something to other channels, okay? And I include a little note there for them. Just so they know. Just so they know. Listen, our people over here are good folks, and they care enough. We care enough to reach out and send a couple nice creators a little something something from their wish list. So we'll keep you posted. I can't tell you right now. I won't do that until they receive their little presents. So there's that. I really love you and your channel. Oh, thank you, Gail. Thank you. Do you still have merch? I know I don't have merch. I ended it as quick as I started it. It was just a bad idea. I should have stuck with my gut feeling. It wasn't a good idea for me. Boo, I've got to go to work. Oh, Smoky Blue Days, go enjoy your day at work. A blank slate, missing wish list items means that they are purchased. Yes. When they're purchased, they're removed from the wish list. Bless all of you here. Yes. Listen, I've got to give back a little bit. You know what I mean? I can't, sadly, this is a one-way street. You know, when I receive as an entertainer, it's a one-way street. I receive, listen, I give myself through my lives, through my videos. That's all I can offer. That's what I give. I can't gift back, so to speak. That's an impossibility. But I give myself, and in return for that, some people are able and willing to gift me and cash me, right? So the only way that I can give back, so to speak, is to or gift forward is, I tip other creators occasionally, or sometimes go to other creators' wish lists and just kind of, pass on a little goodwill to other channels. So there's that. So if you all on occasion see me do that, just know that's just my way of just kind of passing on the goodwill to other creators as I can. Just trying to put something positive out there. Misdemeanor says, you are a gift in yourself, girl. Oh, Lady V, thank you. Let me see. Sometimes they take a second to come in. There it is. Let me see. Hold on. I thought I was cut off today because today was, listen, I haven't got to ring my bell one time today. I thought, well, I'm cut off. Thank you so much. It's a good one too, girl. I mean, I rang it extra long since I've not been able to ring it today. Lady V, thank you. $20 in my Cash App because I did a lot of goddamn talking today. These lips push a lot of air, y'all. Damn. Sang a song. I reached back to 1979 and sang Cars by Gary Newman. Talked and talked and talked and talked. You can hear the crispy dry in my voice crackling. Listen, thank you so much. $20 in Cash App. I really appreciate it. Oh, good gracious. Good gracious and gravy. We are 25 signatures away from 100. That pleases me, people. That really pleases me. That's good. That's a really good, that does please me, gotta say. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. I have to also be on a replay crew because I missed the first hour. Aw, Paige. Um, Listen, I think it was a good first hour. Or hell, I think I got going pretty briskly on it. I didn't drag it out. Um, I didn't drag it out too long. Agreed, Paige. The dark teal paint made me drool. It's going on some wall where I move for sure. What paint are you referring to, Blank Slate? What paint are you referring to, my lovely Blank Slate? This has been a great live. Thank you, Misdemeanor. I'm glad you enjoy it. Yes, watching the beginning. Yes, watch the beginning. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I. Oh yes, listen. I, I wish I wish Mrs. B was here so I could explain something directly to her. And I hate that I have to. I really do. But maybe she'll listen to this, and I might as well. I'll tell you what happened. Mrs. B was kind enough and generous enough to send me some really nice wallpaper for my wish list. It was self-stick. It was the first self-stick wallpaper I've ever bought. I'm used to the old wallpaper where you have to wet it down and all that good stuff, and you know, all that good stuff. And then you paste it to the wall and all that. That's kind of. But listen, this was self-stick and it looked pretty easy and all that stuff. And I'm sure it's if you want to go look at it, if anybody wants to check out my community page and go through the presents I've received, it's still there. And it's gorgeous. It's the washed like repurposed wood planks, that type wallpaper. Anyway, I completed the wall. It's the whole entertainment center wall that goes right into the kitchen area behind the sink, every bit. Listen, and after a couple days, it just started peeling, and I would try to restick it, and then it started forming little bubbles, wrinkles, and it was like I started feeling like Lucy and Ethel in the Chocolate Factory. You got a piece here, then another piece is loose, then you're like whack-a-mole, kind of. I'm like, and I just was like, holy shit, and oh God. And then I just looked at it. I looked at it one morning, and I had to make the executive decision, and it was like, I just had to pull it down. I'm like, I'm not gonna win. And I had to go and pull it all down. And it is what it is, people. Sadly, I had to remove it. So I decided to go with that beautiful aqua. It's that aqua teal, that beautiful color is what I'm going to use for my accent wall. I'm doing all my cabinetry white in the kitchen, so that's going to look gorgeous against that color blue with the silver nickel hardware. Listen, it's going to look really nice when I'm done. So that's what that is. That's what that color is for. Mallory has such good taste. I wish for her wish list. It's not. It has nothing to do with humidity, Slate. Trust me, not inside. Typically with those self-stick items, and I thought it could be a possibility. Those self-stick items, they tend to be not that great. That's just the truth. Just like the self-stick square tiles, you get, they tend to still need to be glued down on the floor. I don't bother with those. I learned my lesson with those back in the 90s. I don't listen. Those self-stick tiles, those self-stick planks, anything self-stick that you're going to put on the floor, don't bother unless you plan on putting a coat of adhesive down on your floor first, because those things are going to wind up popping up on you. Self-stick can kiss my ass in that department. There's a pro tip for you. I use extra glue with sticky towels. You have to. You have to. Self-stick breast forms. Listen, Lady V, go to Home Depot, get you some adhesive first, rub it all over your nipples, and then put your breast forms over it. that way they're sure to stay in place. Oh God, Jesus to goodness. Oh. Oh my God. Good Lord, people. Listen, I'm going to put this out there. I call this a feature item. Sometimes I'll talk about a particular item on my wish list, and I'll make it a within reason price item, right? So I'm not trying to, listen, let me go make sure it's still there first before I feature it. Something that I'd like to have on my wish list. Do 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 do. You know, first of all, listen, those metal art pieces are goddamn gorgeous. I can't believe they're still there. All three of them, anyway. I can't believe all three of those metal art pieces are still there. They're gorgeous and they're priced. I mean, the prices are amazing, but those aren't what I'm going to feature. What I'm going to feature today is that steel metal rake. That's what I'm going to feature today. I'm going to promote the rake, right, on today's wish list. Let me drop the link one more time. I could really use that rake, people. Somebody was nice enough to call. I had the hedge cutters, trimmers, cutters. Somebody was nice enough to send. Those are now off my wish list, so they're on the way. Thank goodness, because there's some things getting out of control here that I'm going to be able to chop. But listen, my rake broke. My wooden rake thing, it broke. That rake is not going to break, honey. It ain't going to break on me. Listen, that's what I'm going to feature today. So if anybody out there listening, it's 54 people out there, right? Times 2 ears. Most of you have 2 ears. Assuming that a few of you are deaf in 1 ear, right? So listen. There's a good amount of ears out there. I'd like to have that rake. I would love to have that rake. Just putting it out there. People. All right. Would love to have the rake to go with my shrub cutters. Would love to have the rake. Featured item alert. Remember the Kmart Blue Special? Remember the Blue Light Special at Kmart? Anybody old enough to remember the Blue Light Special? And we'd all flock to it. There's a Blue Light Special in the automotive department. Blue Light Special in the auto. And they'd wheel it around from department to department. How exciting was that? There's a Blue Light Special in the women's bra department. Blue Light Special in the women's bra department. I'm like, oh, man. And then one time, if we get lucky, there's a Blue Light Special in the toy department. Blue Light Special in the toy department. My mother would roll her eyes. You could see the look in her eyes. And we're, come on! Can we go, Ma? Can we go? Come on, let's go. It only lasts for 10 minutes. Come on. Oh, God. Let's go see what it is. If it's something we like, can we get it? Oh, God. Those are the good old days, people. Oh, I love the Blue Light Special. Think of my featured item as a Blue Light Special, okay? Go and check it out, right? Go and check it out. All right, people. Listen, I think I covered all the bases today. I did. I think I fulfilled another lovely chat with you all. I think we pretty much maxed out as many guest book signatures as we could. Thank you for letting me ring my bell one time today. I really appreciate it. It was a nice lengthy bell ring. Worked out my wrist. I certainly appreciate that. Listen, everyone, I had a really good time. I pretty much got through an entire cup of coffee. Hold on. Just finished it. Until next time, do take care. I love you all. Bye-bye.